Hi, everybody. This is Michael Reeves, and we are now live on the air. And tonight we will be watching the Autumn Wind Championships for 2019-2020, also known as Super Bowl 16. Our combatants tonight are the Philadelphia Eagles, coached by Dave Szymanski, and he is going to match wits with Marc LePage, who coaches the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to open up some items here, our card image, and give you little statistics here on who's doing what, where, when, and how. And here we go. So Philadelphia will get the opening kickoff. We'll tell you a little bit about both these clubs as the game continues, but they now have the ball 2nd and 1, following a 9-yard run on that first play by Alvin Kamara. Dallas plays a 3-4. Philadelphia with a throwback pro set offense. There's a run for Kyle Juszczyk. He's able to pick up 1 on the play, and the first down of the game belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the most prolific offenses in the league this year belongs to Philadelphia. They have the number 1 rated passer in the league with Kirk Cousins. They'll be matching wits against the Dallas Cowboy team that likes to run. They were 5th in the league in rushing this year, 4th actually, and have one of the top 5 running backs in Matt Breida. Here's a screen pass to Alvin Kamara. Defense guesses run. Limited damage on that play. Pick up a 4 on Kirk Cousins' first pass of the game. Alvin Kamara has had 2 of the first 3 touches in the contest so far. And Philadelphia now stands at their own 46-yard line, 2nd down and 6. Philadelphia 13-3, the number 1 seed, facing off against the number, I believe, 5 seed, Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia out of the AFC. Dallas out of the NFC. There's a 9-yard pickup on the play. Kirk Cousins' second pass. This one completed again to Alvin Kamara. He picks up 9. And Philadelphia now is in Cowboy territory here. This is Super Bowl 16, Autumn Wind, 30-team league. We draft every year. It's a keeper league. Dallas played in this championship 2 seasons ago and lost to, this was last year, actually. This is back-to-back appearances for the Dallas Cowboys. They lost last year to the Chargers, coached by Paul Mankiewicz. Here's a quick screen. It's complete to Gates. 0 men in zone only because we have that wide die 6 reading. So Gates will pick up 9 on the play. It's now 2nd down and 1. So the Eagles, again, the number 1 passing offense in the league. Kirk Cousins this year, an amazing season, 36 touchdown passes against only 6 interceptions. The only quarterback in the league with a rating better than 100. Now find the ball at the Dallas 36-yard line. It's 2nd down and 1. Just underway here in Super Bowl 16. Here's an off-tackle run to Juszczyk. Guessed wrong. Pick up a 4. And that's another first down for Philadelphia. Juszczyk, the real-life fullback for the San Francisco 49ers, a Stratomatic darling. He can cast the ball out of the backfield, but also, too, one of the few fullbacks who can actually run and has a decent guessed wrong running card and does have a few carries. Dallas in that 3-4 I formation. Alvin Kamara in the backfield with Juszczyk. That's Cousins under center. Shepard and Fuller are your wideouts, your tight end, the ageless Antonio Gates. Here's a pass to Fuller. He's correctly double teamed on the play. And that pass is incomplete. Fuller guarded by a 4 on that play. That would have been a 29-yard catch with to put the ball at the 3, but a correct double team. Nice call by Marc LePage. Second down and 10. LePage is a 15-year veteran of this Autumn Wind League that has been in existence for 16 years. But its existence predates this Autumn Wind League. It actually went to Card and Dice, actually, many years ago. Dave Szymanski is one of the elder statesmen of this league, and we'll look at past winners of this league here in just a moment. Our commissioner, Larry Davis, sent a link to me with all of the winners and runners-up in each of the conferences. We'll take a look at that momentarily. Here's a pass to Antonio Gates. Defense chooses to double team both of the wideouts on this play. And that pass is thrown across the middle, and it's intercepted. So the first turnover of the game belongs to the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to bring it back all the way to the 42-yard line. So that pass intended for Gates is picked off over the middle by Quandre Diggs, the Seattle Seahawk. First time Detroit Lion traded to the Seahawks during this regular season. And so the first big play of the game belongs to the Dallas Cowboys, and they will set up shop at their own 42. We're just underway here in Super Bowl 16, the Autumn Wind 2019-2020 championship between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles had the ball first, turned the ball over on a Kirk Cousins interception. Didn't see a lot of those this year from him. He only had 6, in fact, on the season. And so we've got contrasting styles between these two clubs. You have Drew Brees under center, and he had a fine year for Dallas this year. But Dallas's bread is buttered by their running attack. And we're going to see it here on the first play on a run for Matt Breida, who is top 5 in rushing this season. Breida gets about 17 unfatigued carries per game, but he was a workhorse this year for Dallas with 273 yards, 1,400 yards plus on the ground. That's an average of 6.4 per carry. So you've got Drew Brees there in the backfield under center, and a lot of teams chose to stop him, and a lot of teams paid the price. So Dallas coming out of the NFC this year, 10-6, the number 5 seed. Here's a nice chunk play of 17 yards on a pass from Drew Brees to Breida. Pickup of 17 on the play. And 2 plays in, Dallas already is in Philadelphia territory here with the ball at the 36-yard line. Dallas, not a major point differential. Only 42 points, in fact. 356 points scored against 314 points allowed. They're facing off against the team that had the biggest point differential in the league of 210. Among the elite in points scored this year, Philadelphia scored 469 points while only allowing 259. There's Breida's second carry. It picks up nothing. Second down with the ball at the 36-yard line of the Eagles. Just about midway here through the first quarter of the Autumn Wind 2019-2020 championship. Dallas with their first possession. Philadelphia with a turnover on their first possession on a Kirk Cousins interception. Both teams run a 3-4. Here's a slant pass to Watson. Defense guesses pass. It's on the defensive card, and that play is stopped for no gain. Strong safety is able to make the play. White die 5. And it's now 3rd and 10. Three wide set. First time we've seen that, I believe, for Dallas. So Valdez Scanlon is a pretty decent deep threat. He's up against a 4. Actually, Scanlon stays in. It's Hogan is the third receiver. He's guarded by a 0. That's Scanlon and Demarius Thomas. I believe that's David Johnson. A couple years removed from strat dominance. A lot of injuries have hurt him. Doesn't nearly have the effective card that he used to. In fact, he only tallied 30 carries this year. Dwayne Washington was the second running back for Dallas. He'll get about 4 carries. David will get about 2 a game, and the rest of it goes to Breida. 3rd and 10. Bringing some heat here on this play. It's a quick in pass to Watson, but there's still a man there in the zone. And a white die 6 reading, so a fortunate roll there for Philadelphia as Watson's able to pick up 18 on the play. We don't play with the dump off rule in this league, so the only trick rolls that you can get basically would be on that white die 6 rating for linebackers. Saminsky does have a linebacker 6, but Dallas chose to go over the middle and gets the benefit of that roll. And it's now 1st and 10 with the ball at the 18 as we're midway here in the first quarter. 0-0. Dallas on their first possession. Philadelphia had the ball first, drove deep into Cowboy territory, but Kirk Cousins was picked up by Quandre Diggs. Here's a run for Dwayne Washington. It's a pickup of 2. So Breida basically with 17 to 18 unfatigued carries. So obviously we've got to spell him here just a little bit with a couple of running backs, and that's Dwayne Washington, the little used running back for the real life New Orleans Saints. I believe he was a Detroit Lion before that, and then David Johnson. So Breida checks back into the game. 2nd and 8, ball at the 16. 6:54 on a running clock here. Super Bowl 16. Dallas Cowboys 13-3. Dallas Cowboys 10-6, facing off against the 13-3 number 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles out of the AFC. There's a run for Breida. It only picks up 2, as guessed right by Saminsky and his Philadelphia Eagles. It's now 3rd and 8. So Philly would like to limit the damage here, get Dallas off the field. Hopefully the Cowboys will have to settle for a field goal. So it'd be a big conversion for Dallas. They've had 1 on this drive so far. Back to the 3-3-5 for Dallas. Again, that's Breeze under center with Valdez-Scanlon, Chris Hogan, who I traded to this club just a few years ago, and Demaryius Thomas. Ben Watson at tight end. David Johnson, who's a little bit better pass catcher out of the backfield, checks into the game. And that's a pass that was intended for Valdez-Scanlon, but he is sacked. He loses a yard on the play. And it's 4th down and 11. So Dallas will line up for the first scoring attempt of the game. So if anybody out there had a prop bet, grab your tickets now. Sanders will put this through. So if you had Dallas with a field goal, please go to the window and collect your money. Dallas up 3-0. Sanders sends this one into the end zone. Philadelphia will take over. They were able to drive very effectively on their first possession, but again, it was marred by an interception that now has given Dallas the early 3-0 lead here. 5:42 to go here in the first quarter. Super Bowl 16. Dallas and Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the number 1 seed. And so they received a bye during wild card weekend. There's a pass across the middle to Russell Shepard, a pickup of 10, and a first down. Defense gets run on that play. So Philadelphia had a bye in the first round. In the divisional playoffs, they defeated the New Orleans Voodoo 37-25. And their championship game was a nail-biter against the Green Bay Packers, in which they pulled it out 10-9. Green Bay lining up for a 2-point conversion. Your card, my card at the end of the game. Just came up 1 point short, so the Eagles find themselves here in this title game. Up against Dallas, who's had a much tougher road as the number 5 seed. They've had to play 3 games to get here. After that catch by Juszczyk, it's now 2nd down and 5 with the ball at the Philadelphia 40. Prolific offense, stingy defense, highest point differential in the league for Philadelphia. Tall order definitely for Dallas, but they've made their way into this championship game, having to play not 1, not 2, but 3 games. Here's a screen pass to Kamara. Defense successfully double teams him. Nice call. 3rd down and 5. So Dallas defeated the Phoenix Cardinals in the wild card round 28-21. In the divisional playoffs, 17-3 over the New Orleans Saints, and in the championship, defeated the Seattle Seahawks 23-7. Again, this is back-to-back appearances for Marc LePage in this title game. Lost last year to the Los Angeles Chargers. Super Bowl 16, 3rd down and 5. Philadelphia will stay in that pro set. With Juszczyk and Kamara. Antonio Gates at tight end. Russell Shepard and Will Fuller. Defense counters 3-3-5. So we look across the middle. We see a couple of 4s there in the right linebacker zone. Across the middle. Right, we see a flat pass here. Could Dallas not only drop their free safety, but their strong safety into those zones and maybe flood those zones? There's an inside run for Kamara, and defense guesses run. Great call from Marc LePage. Only a 2-yard pickup, and Philadelphia is forced to punt. Excellent call by the Cowboys. They sniffed out that 3rd down and 5, in essence, a draw play. And they will be forced to punt. So Brewster will boot this away from his own 42. And they're not going to take any chances. They're going to kick this one out of bounds. No return. But Dallas is going to set up shop with decent field position here at the 28-yard line. Already up 3-0 with 3 minutes and change to go here in the first quarter of Super Bowl 16. So 2 tight ends set as we see Hill check into the game. That's Dwayne Washington back in the backfield, again, trying to preserve some carries. Here's a pitch to Washington. Defense guesses pass. It's on the defense's card. Offensive guard not able to make the block on that play. He needed to be a 6. That would have been a tall order, so Washington has to settle for a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7. We'll take a look at the championship history of the Super Bowl here momentarily. 16th Super Bowl championship. There's a curl pass to Valdez-Scanlon. Guessed wrong, so it's a 15-yard pickup and a first down for Dallas as they make their way to the 46-yard line with 2:06 to go here in the first quarter. Dallas already up 3-0. This is their second possession. Philadelphia started out with the ball, drove deep into Dallas territory. Kirk Cousins was picked off by Quandre Diggs. Dallas drove the length of the field, had to settle for a field goal on their last possession. The Eagles drive stalled at around midfield. Kick the ball back to Dallas, who now has it at their own 45, 1st and 10. 2 tight ends set here for Dallas. Washington stays in the game at halfback. Here's a quick pass to Scanlon, and he picks up 6 on the play. So Valdez Scanlon, the Green Bay Packer, picks up 6, a rookie in this year's set. So this is 2020 in which we were playing this game. And the way Stratomatic works is they send cards out for every club. Every skill position player gets cards, and every defensive player, in essence, and lineman get ratings if they play a certain amount of snaps. And we have annual drafts, but it's basically based on the previous year's stats. So it's the 2019-2020 season, but we are basing this on 2018 cards. The new cards will be out next fall. The ratings will be out in the summer. There's a pass that is incomplete, correctly double teamed. Again, that pass was headed for Valdez Scanlon. And it's now 3rd and 4.
Hey, Michael, you're not sharing your screen, homie. At the bottom, share screen. That's better. Make it full, though. Nope. That's good. There you go. Can't hear you, though, if you're talking. I think you turned off your mic.
Now I'm talking.
Okay. That's better. It was a radio broadcast there for a while.
You know what? We made it old time. Unfortunately, we must have missed the last couple of plays here. So
looks like a long gain on a short pass. 2 men in the zone, and it goes for 8 yards. And Dave just can't catch a break so far. He's making some decent calls, but Marc's making better ones, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How much of this have you had a chance to see or hear, for that matter?
Not very much. I had the game on the side while I'm doing some work, so okay. I did see I saw a 3rd down short gain. I saw that pick on 2 through 4 that Dave threw, and then the 3rd down and long where Marc threw a look-in pass to his tight end and hit a short gain.
That's it. And
then we just saw that big 61-yarder. So it's early still. If Dave can hold him to a field goal here, he'll feel a lot better than if he gives up a two-score lead. Mm-hmm. But again, you have 3/4 of the game left.
Sure.
But that Drew Brees card is something else. If it's guessed wrong, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And Marc's had him off balance a little bit here.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison, that's for sure.
Guessed wrong, open man. There's nobody there. Oh, there's one linebacker there.
One linebacker there.
He plays a 3-4, not a 4-3. So I saw the hole there. I got excited for a second.
So 3rd and 1, ball at the 7, just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Dallas up 3-0. I missed the play while we were figuring out what was the matter with my screen. What was the long gain? I must have missed it.
It was a short pass, and he rolled a 12 on the defensive cards with 3 men in zone.
I see.
Now, that, of course, it said 61 yards, but I think it was limited to the max of the receiver, which in this case was Benjamin Watson. His max is 32. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown. He'd gone to one of his wideouts, I think.
So interestingly, Breida is checked out in this place. So it's basically David Johnson and Dwayne Washington here on 3rd and 1.
No, Breida has a lot of negative and 0-yard gains with guest right on his guard.
And there's your pass. Defense guest pass on that play, but Valdez-Scanlon hauls it in. And Dallas is up 9-0, looking to go up 10-0 here on this extra point.
So again, it's still early. Dave's got to stick with his plan. He's got a very good offense, and his defense is excellent as well. So Mark's just, outrolling him right now, calling him and outrolling him. Dave's got to stop running on 3rd down. Third down.
Yeah, that was an interesting call. I agree. Oh wow, and he took it from deep. Okay.
Well, he's got a couple of big hits on the edges, so he must have figured it's worth the risk.
Sure.
So the only time it would really hurt him is if he rolled a 3, and he'd start at the 2 on a deep kick like that.
Instead, he'll take over at his own 19. Cousins was the #1 passer this year in the league. He was the only quarterback that we had throughout the league that was rated over 100.
See, that's another bad break for Dave. He gets a white die 6, lands on a receiver reading, guessed right, incomplete. Even if it would have been guessed wrong, that's the only roll that would have been incomplete. But you have to shake off those things because those things are going to happen to your opponent too. So he just needs to keep plugging away here.
Yeah.
But Mark's very good at double teaming. He's going to take away Will Fuller. Expect to see him double teamed like 70% of the game. When he's not calling run, he's going to have a guy on him most of the time.
And he had a big double team early with the ball at the 32 on their first possession. He threw a bomb to Fuller that had he not double teamed, it would have been a 29-yard catch, but because of the double team, it was incomplete. So that was a huge play.
And see, because he's double teaming so much, he goes to the guy that's covered by a high rating, and that just helps Mark as well. What Dave might want to do is spread him out, go 3 wide like this on early downs, because Mark's weak point is his linebackers, and that might get his offense in gear. See, I don't like this staying base on 3rd down. That's just playing right into Mark's hands.
Wonder who his 3rd wide receiver would be. I'm looking it up now. Torrey Smith. I mean, he must have played pretty consistently throughout this year because Torrey Smith had a grand total of 2 catches.
There it goes again, 2 true double teams, and that just that gives Mark a 40% chance of double teaming the right receiver, and there's an interception.
Good call to double team his running back there, Yeldon, who had only 7 catches on the year. Wow. Okay. All right. So Dallas will take over at the Philadelphia 24, already up 10-0. So the Cowboys making excellent calls so far. There's a 5-yard run for Breida. Guessed wrong. Breida with 5 carries so far for 11 yards. He's pretty much been held in check. Gets about 17 unfatigued carries in the game. So he's got plenty left in the tank. 12 minutes on a running clock here in the first half. Dallas up 10-0, looking for more. Kirk Cousins with 6 interceptions all season, 2 of them now in this Super Bowl game. So it's uncharacteristic for Captain Kirk.
All right, I got to get going. It should be a good game. Mark, Dave just got to make a stand here and get a good drive going. But I got to get home to the family, so I will check out here.
All right, buddy.
Okay. You guys enjoy, and I will check in later on.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, see ya.
Bye. All right, first and goal here. Ball at the 6, the Eagles. Trying desperately to keep the Cowboys here out of the end zone. They're already trailing 10-0. Fresh off the heels of their second interception, Dallas looking to extend this lead. Here's a pitch play to Washington, who actually picks up 3, even though it's guessed right. So second down and goal to go. Ball at the 3. 10-0 here in Super Bowl 16. Dallas back-to-back championship appearances. They lost last season. Philadelphia, one of the long-standing members of this league, which has been in existence for 16 years. Dave has been it for all 16 of those years. 15 years for Marc LePage, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, who have the ball at the Eagles 3, second down and goal to go. It's going to look over the middle for Watson, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. It was guessed wrong, and on Watson's card, it's not too shabby. But he dials up an 8 there, which is a blank on Ben Watson's card, so it's now third down and 3. So Philly desperately trying to keep this to a 2-score game. Dallas can extend this lead to 17-0 with a touchdown here. A little early to say there are crucial plays, but this would be a big, big help mentally, if not anything else, for Dave Szymanski here to stop the Cowboys and stop the bleeding just a little bit. So now Breida has checked back into the game there with David Johnson. Drew Brees with that dangerous guessed wrong pass card. So it's basically a coin flip. Let's see what instincts Szymanski has here to stop LePage. There's a pass to David Johnson. Defense double teaming elsewhere. And that pass is going to fall incomplete. A 10 and a 12 would have given him a touchdown, but dancing between the raindrops, that's an 11. And it looks like Dallas is going to settle for a field goal. They do. And they're now up 13-0. Dallas hoping for more there, but certainly they'll settle for another score. That's 6 points now on turnovers for the Cowboys. It's a deep kick, and the Eagles will choose not to bring this out. Instead, we'll start at their own 25, trailing 13-0 to the Dallas Cowboys, the number 5 seed in the NFC this year. Had to win 3 games to get to this Super Bowl. Philadelphia, the number 1 seed in the NFC. One of the tops in scoring, one of the tops in defense, more than 200-point differential, tops in the league. There's an off-tackle run for Alvin Kamara, pickup of 4 on the play. It's now second down and 6. With 9:18 to go here in the first. Second down and 6. I formation for the Eagles. Trailing 13-0. Cowboys looking to avenge their Super Bowl loss in last year's 15th edition of this classic. Here's a flare pass to Juszczyk, double teaming elsewhere. Juszczyk is going to catch this one and pick up 9, and they're going to move the chains. So like Dennis said just a moment ago, Philadelphia just needs to put together one decent drive, shake off the cobwebs, if you will, of these last 2 interceptions, and just play their game. And the breaks are going to even themselves out, but don't take anything away from what Dallas has done so far. They've been doing a terrific job with double teams. It's led directly to 1 interception, and it prevented a long bomb on the first drive of the Eagles. They misconnected on what would have been a 29-yard completion to Fuller, but because he was double teamed on their first drive, the pass fell incomplete. And on their next play, they threw an interception. And on the last drive for Philadelphia, this is their fourth drive. On their third drive, defense correctly double teamed TJ Yeldon out of the backfield. And after the interception, Dallas goes to score another 3 points. So they are up 13-0 on Philadelphia. That's a 3-yard loss on the first play. It's now second down and 13, and there's a yard pickup for Kamara. 4 carries for 16 yards. And here we stand at 3rd and 12. So a difficult conversion attempt here. You look at that line, you've got DeMarcus Lawrence, you've got an asterisk pass rusher there. Nothing going on at nose, nothing really going on around the end. Not much heat from anywhere else. It's basically DeMarcus Lawrence or bust. Defense not showing free safety blitz here. 3-3-5 formation. 3 wide set. As now Torrey Smith has made his way onto the field. And there's a pass to Antonio Gates, and he is double teamed, and the pass is incomplete. And once again, Philadelphia is forced to punt. So 4 possessions, 2 punts, and 2 interceptions. Dallas, everything is coming up roses for the Cowboys so far. So midway through the second quarter, there's a 44-yard punt. It's going to lead to a return. Actually, no, fair catch. Cowboys will set up shop at their own 20. 6:54 here to go in Super Bowl 16. Inside run for Matt Breida, defense double teaming elsewhere. There's a nice pickup on first down of 9 yards. And that's with a linebacker in the zone, but the center, who is a 6, was able to clear the way for Breida, who picks up 9 on the play. It's second down and 1. For Marc LePage and his Dallas Cowboys, already up 13-0 here in this Autumn Wind 2019-2020 Championship, 16th edition. There's a pitch to Breida. Again, defense double teaming elsewhere. Breida is able to get some yards there and a first down. That's a pickup of 6 on the play. Actually, pickup of 8. Give him 8. So Breida now 7 carries for 28 yards, 17 unfatigued carries before we start to see an effect on his card. So he's maintaining his card well, mixing up some runs with some other backs, preserving him for the second half. Breida in the top 5 in rushing this year, 273 carries, but you have to be judicious with him. He's not a 30 carry per game back. There's a pass to Demaryius Thomas, good for 14 yards. And Dallas has once again crossed into Philadelphia Eagles territory. This is their 4th possession, I believe, and all of their possessions have wound up in Eagles territory, I think, with the exception of 1. No, actually, they've all made their way into that territory. That's absolutely correct. A button hook pass to Breida. That's good for 6 yards. Second down and 4. So if we look at the history of this league, we can see the winners from the last few seasons. Marc LePage does have an Autumn Wind trophy that he earned back in 2013. He also was the runner-up in last year's championship. Defense double teaming Valdez Scanlon, and that pass will fall incomplete. That's a deep shot to Scanlon, but it falls incomplete. It's now third down and 4. So Dave Szymanski, this is his first trip to the title game. But as he had told me on other broadcasts, this league Goes back all the way to, I believe, either the late 60s or the early 70s. It was in another format at that time. They were playing a different game, but this league has some very, very deep roots before Autumn Wind ever began. But Saminsky has been here from day one in this Autumn Wind League, which has been around for 16 seasons. LePage joined in the second season. Here's another pass to Valdez Scanlon. He's not double teamed here, and the defense gets his run, so that's going to be a good result for Dallas as they mosey their way to the Eagles 33. Dominant performance so far for Marc LePage and his Cowboys, already up 13-0 and are on the cusp of field goal range here with 3:36 to go on a moving clock. LePage looking to avenge his championship defeat last year to the LA Chargers. And there's a pitch to Breida, guessed wrong, but he only picks up 2 on the play. It's now 2nd down and 8. So LePage has made it to the championship 3 times. He's won 1 and he has lost 2. I believe Dave Saminsky has played in the conference championship at least once. We'll look at that just in a moment. So there's a pitch out to Breida. Guessed wrong. Picks up 7 on the play. It's now 3rd down and 1 for Dallas. They're deciding whether or not to call timeout or play hurry up. And they will do neither. So it is 3rd and 1 with the ball resting at the 24. So Saminsky did play in a title game last year. So this is his first trip to the Uber Bowl finals. And he's trailing 13-0 here to Marc LePage. Marc LePage, always an active trader, always active on the message boards as well. He puts together nice blogs of his team's progress. He very much enjoys this league, as do all of us. Here's a deep pass to Ben Watson. Defense guesses pass on the play. Good call by Saminsky, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. So 4th and 1 for Dallas. I wondered if he was going to think twice perhaps about this kick, but he does not. He trots his kicker out onto the field, and he puts it through from 41 yards. So Dallas is still up by only 2 scores, but it's a big 16. It's a big 2 scores. So Philadelphia now with 2 minutes to go, and they are choosing to take this ball out of the end zone. He will pick up 31. As Dennis had said, on the boundaries, you've got that 90-yard pickup and the long gain on 2 and 12. Decent returns everywhere else with the exception of that 11. And so for Saminsky, that was worth the risk. As we've gone past the 2-minute warning here in the first quarter, ball rests at the 23. The Eagles, one of the most prolific scoring teams in this entire league, the number 1 pass offense, has been stymied by defense, by Dallas defense, particularly some very strong double teams. Here's a pass to Kamara, and once again, double team in Dallas right after it. And that pass falls incomplete. It was on the receiver card, so he was double teamed by a linebacker, so you're still eligible to catch that pass. The double team does not apply. But Kamara's not able to haul it in. Cousins, the number 1 passer this year, the only quarterback in Autumn Wind with a 100-plus passer rating, is 7 of 15 so far with 2 interceptions and only 43 yards. There's another pass that falls incomplete. That deep pass falls to the turf, and it's now 3rd down and 10. Another good double team for Dallas there on Russell Shepard. So they've had the Eagles' number so far, no doubt. Philadelphia does spread it 3 wide here. That's little used Torrey Smith on the field, and he is guarded by a 5. More likely than not, a decoy. Not here, though. And would you look at that? He goes straight to Torrey Smith, and Smith hauls in the pass for 10 yards and a first down as the defense chose to guard double team Fuller on that play. And so the Eagles have a nice third down conversion there. Trying to put some momentum together here before the half. Dallas will get the ball at the third quarter. The beginning of the third quarter. 1:30 to go. Eagles with 2 timeouts remaining. They've stopped the clock here with the ball resting on their own 33. Dallas now will go into the 3-3-5. So they've got that extra DB in the short pass zone. There's a pitch out to Kamara. Defense guesses pass. Bad break there, though, for Saminsky as it's on the defensive card. But he does pick up 5, and he's able to get out of bounds. So it's 2nd down and 5. 1:22 to go here in the first half. Kamara guessed wrong. Short gains on 6 and 7. 49-yard gain there at 12. Not being able to hit any of those numbers here in this first half. So maybe he's due here in the second half. Or maybe he's due on this drive. And there is a deep shot, and that pass falls incomplete. It was intended for Fuller. And again, Dallas was double teaming Fuller. Russell Shepard is just a so-so deep threat, but I wonder if he's going to maybe start considering that since he is double teaming Fuller so much here in this first half, but he's definitely had his number. But every once in a while, he'll guide that free safety over to guard him as well. So another big third down conversion here, 3rd and 5. Philadelphia does spread it out a little bit, so it puts Dallas in the 3-3-5, which they may have played already. And there's a slant pass to Antonio Gates. He is double teamed by the free safety, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. So another successful double team for the Cowboys, and they will get the ball. But more importantly, they stop Philadelphia on the drive at their own 38. So barring calamity, they're going to take at least a 16. Oh, would you look at this? And there is a deep return. That's going to go all the way for a score. A touchdown for Dwayne Harris. So I was just thinking that Dallas is just going to be cruising into this halftime with a 60-0 lead, and instead, a touchdown from Dwayne Harris on a punt return of well over 90 yards, I believe. The Eagles, on a couple of occasions, had chosen to kick the ball out of bounds to avoid such a calamity. But in this case here, they chose to punt straight away. And Dallas makes them pay. So now the lead is extended to 23-0. With 45 seconds to go here in the first half. Needless to say, I don't think anybody expected anything even approaching this. Philadelphia with a very strong offense, great passing game, and just have not been able to get out of their own way. Dallas has had the prescription, and the prescription is correct double teams. Taken once in the morning and once before bedtime, and only with food and a little bit of water. And Dallas has shown up in a big way as LePage is looking for his second title. There's a pass across the middle, and that is picked off. That is Cousins' 3rd interception on a pass to Kyle Juszczyk. He was not double teamed on the play, and Dallas will take over again in Philadelphia territory with the ball resting at the 37-yard line, already up 23-0. A disastrous first half here for the Eagles. A superlative first half for the Dallas Cowboys and Marc LePage. 2 men in the zone. And an unfortunate roll for Dave Szymanski. And the bad news just keeps on coming. The ball at the 42-yard line with 30 seconds to go, and Dallas has all 3 of their timeouts. There's an inside run for Breida that goes for a yard. Give him a yard on the play, 2nd down and 9. They'll call timeout here, so 22 seconds to go. And Dallas up 23-0 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Surprise, surprise. But Marc LePage says it comes as no surprise. And there is a pitch out. And that's not going to really pick up anything. He is able to get out of bounds and preserve a timeout, but at this point, that's kind of academic. It's 3rd and 7. That's a 2-yard gain for Breida. That's 11 carries now for 40 yards. So it is something to keep an eye on here. He only has 6 unfatigued carries left. But you've got that dangerous ball control card for Drew Brees with an excellent flat pass card. His other 2 running backs can't really do much of anything. And there's a pass that is intercepted, so the Eagles finally get a break. Let's see if this thing's going to go anywhere. Starts at the 25, and unfortunately, he can't really make anything of it, but at least he's going to keep this game to 3 scores. So a good break there for Szymanski. He's asking himself, okay, if I could just get 12 more of those breaks, we can get back into this. 8 seconds to go, enough time for 2 plays because Philadelphia does have 2 timeouts remaining. Going to check this one deep, obviously. That's Juszczyk in the backfield. 4 wide set with Juszczyk. Kirk Cousins in the shotgun. Crossing pattern pass that falls incomplete to Torrey Smith. And so the nightmare first half continues for Kirk Cousins. 8 for 22 for 53 yards and 3 interceptions. Only 6 interceptions for Kirk Cousins in the year, and I've mentioned this a couple of times. He's the only quarterback in the league this year in Autumn Wind to have a passer rating of over 100. The number 1 passing offense in the league. And they're going to need a lot of that in the second half, without question. 1 second remaining, last play of the first half. All Dallas, 23-0 here over the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Cowboys, the little engine that could, the 5 seed out of the NFC. There's a deep shot to Russell, 2 men in the zone, and that pass is nearly picked off. The pass falls incomplete, and we find ourselves at halftime, and who could have imagined this? Dallas up 23-0 over Dave Szymanski and the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will be receiving the ball here in the second half. So lots of work to do here. 2 minutes, 2-minute break. We'll look at the box score. And as you can see, all Dallas all the time, 5 scores basically. 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. The big one there, that's Dwayne Harris with an 89-yard kick return. Sanders' first kick. Let's see, Minnesota has 3 turnovers here. All of their turnovers have led to points with the exception of that last double team. Basically, those were field goals on the first drive and on their 3rd drive of the contest, and that's how they've gotten those 2 field goals. Minnesota, on 3rd down, that's something I wanted to look at here. Philadelphia so far only 1 of 5, Dallas 4 of 8. So they've capitalized on turnovers, and they've really been clicking on offense as well. Drew Brees, 11 of 18 for 146 yards and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 8 of 23 for only 53 yards and 3 interceptions. and that lovely passer rating of 4. Alvin Kamara, 5 carries for 21 yards. That's not helping matters. Breida, 11 carries for 40 yards, so he's pretty much been held in check. Ben Watson, 3 catches for 56 yards. He leads the team in receptions and in yards. Let's see if someone has had. Nope, all the interceptions have basically been split between Diggs and Justin Simmons. The real-life Denver Broncos headed for a big payday from the Broncos. And Robley Coleman. So, I mean, basically in a nutshell, turnovers and correct double teams. That's been the story of this first half. Philadelphia can put together a lot of points, a prolific scoring team this year, averaging about 30 a game. So I don't think they're done yet, but certainly an uphill climb for Dave Szymanski and his Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas can't cruise on this, but most certainly in the driver's seat. So our commissioner sent me this link basically to the past champions. It might be worth it just to scroll through here if anybody wants to take a look. And there's Marc LePage, who coached Dallas last year and was runner-up to Paul Mankiewicz. We see Dennis Crowley winning 2 championships in a row. That's Claude Turcotte. There's Marc LePage's first championship there in 2013. Claude Turcotte is with the Montreal Alouettes. There's Neil Shannon, Larry Davis, who's the commissioner of the league, Butch Shremick, Doug Riley, Ed Barrow, NFL Ed. He runs several leagues himself. Lawrence Green, Nathan Baylor, Neil Shannon. Know a lot of these people in this league. A lot of them have been in this league actually for quite some time. Many of them are 15, 16-year members, which is as long as this league has been in existence. I am the owner-operator of the Los Angeles Rams and was invited to the league's 4 seasons ago. It's a great league. You should check it out. Look up Autumn Wind Stratomatic, and you'll find it if you Google it. It's one of the best web pages you're going to find anywhere. The league is especially well run. We have a draft in September, and we have a trade committee that basically makes sure that all the trades are on the square. It's a very, very good community, very strong community, and excellent coaches up and down the roster. Very competitive, especially when you play in 30-team leagues. I play in some that are 24 and 28. It's a little bit easier to build super teams here. Not so in this league. You really have to build and build through the draft and build through trades. It's very hard to stand pat in a league like this. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys made a big trade a couple of seasons ago to get Drew Brees. Marc LePage is always one of the most active traders in the league. So you know he's always going to be there. He's always competing. On the first play from scrimmage, there's an off-tackle run for Breida. But the dreaded 5, as Tom Cook would say, that's a no gain on guessed wrong. And look at that. A 4 would have given him a 20-yard pickup, and a 6 would have given him a pickup of anywhere between 10 and 20. So Philadelphia catches a break, 2nd down and 10, and they need some. They need to put together back-to-back breaks. Need a turnover here if they can get it. Washington is checked in. Breida is going to be tired here after 5 more carries. So probably see a little bit of Washington here in the second half, certainly in the third quarter. But this is where Philadelphia can take advantage. Washington isn't much of a running threat. But he's going to try him here. There's an inside run. There's no linebackers up there to support. And that's a 17-yard pickup. Look at that card. Guessed wrong for Dwayne Washington, a little used running back. He doesn't get a lot of carries per game. In real life, in Stratomatic, basically 60 carries, just about 4 carries per game. But in this, he does get 7. And you see that short gain on a 7. You see a 4 and a 7 and an 8. That's a nice card. It's actually a very nice card. That's a pickup of 2. Defense guessed right on that play. That was Washington once again. He has 5 carries for 27 yards. We have a limited carries rule in which there's a certain threshold of carries that a player needs to have in order for his runs to count. If it's under a certain number, and I'm not exactly sure what that number is offhand, basically when you get a roll on your own offensive card, basically the highest yardage you can get is the average of your card. So if your player averaged 5 yards per carry and he rolls a short gain, he's basically going to get 5 yards on the carry. And I believe the exception to that would be when it's a white die 1. Then any roll on the offensive player's card in a limited usage running back situation would apply. But I believe Washington had more than enough carries to bypass that. So that's a pretty decent guessed wrong card. 3rd and 4 for Dallas as they're on their own 48. Again, Philadelphia's got to get them off the field quickly. Going to try to convert their second straight 3rd down. Here's a quick out to Watson. The defense guesses run. Nice call, though. They put 2 men in the zone, so they kind of hedge their bets there a little bit. And it's going to pay off as Dallas is going to probably, maybe. Yeah, he is going to kick it. All right, maybe he was having second thoughts about it there with the ball resting at midfield. But they think better of it. They're going to try to pin him deep. And they will do so by kicking it out of bounds and objective met. So Dallas on their first drive has pinned Philadelphia deep, but Philadelphia has held serve. They're staring at an 88-yard field. They're staring at a 23-0 deficit. In the first few moments here of the 3rd quarter of Autumn Wind Super Bowl 16. It's the Autumn Wind 2019-2020 championship between the Philadelphia Eagles, 13-3, Dallas Cowboys, 10-6. So Kamara, who's had a very pedestrian first half, starts off again with no gain on his first carry. That's 6 now for 21 yards for Kamara. Nothing going on offensively, running or passing for Philly. That to go along with 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions from the usually pinpoint precise Kirk Cousins. There's a pass to Russell Shepard that falls incomplete. As Josh Norman is able to make the play. He wasn't double teamed. Norman is, I think, a 4. Let's see. No, Norman is a 5, so he's able to make the play. It only would have been good on a white die 6. So once again, 3rd down and 10. On a frustrating Friday evening for Dave Szymanski and his Philadelphia Eagles. There's a pass to Torrey Smith, and the defense is double teaming Torrey Smith, but he's double teaming him with a linebacker, so it went on his card, but again, the pass falls incomplete. And so the Eagles will punt this ball back to Dallas, who should have pretty decent field position as a result of this play, barring a turnover. And that's a nice kick. 56 yards. But a 17-yard return brings the ball right back to pretty much where we started from, at the Dallas 49-yard line, already up 23-0 over the 13-3 number 1 NFC seed Philadelphia Eagles. The NFC champion, the number 1 team in the NFC, and some would argue the number 1 team in the league based on that point differential of more than 200. Here's a quick in pass that falls incomplete. 2 men in the zone on that play. So Drew Brees so far, 12 of 20. 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception late in the first half. 148 yards. for the future Hall of Fame NFLer from Purdue, the Boilermakers. Pick up a 4 on the play there for Matt Breida. That was his 13th carry. It's now 3rd and 6 as the Cowboys have now entered Eagles territory. Up 23-0 here, 9 minutes to go on a running clock. All Cowboys so far. So we're wrapping up a long and winding season here for Autumn Wind. We began the draft in September, and I believe we started playing games actually in October. So this is a 6-month process. We are right now March 28th, 2020. So we almost extended into a 7th month. But really, the season begins in July when Stratomatic releases their ratings. There's a button hook pass. Defense guesses run on the play, but it's only a pickup of 1. So another break for Philadelphia as Dallas had excellent field position, but barely got 5 yards into Philadelphia territory. Actually, the ball now is at the 46, so they'll be forced to punt once again and probably going to try to kick this one out of bounds, and they do. And they try to pit him deep, and they do. And so the Eagles, once again, deja vu. This time they take over at their own 15-yard line, trailing 23-0, 8:06 to go. Plenty of time for the Eagles. But whereas in the first half they were moving the ball relatively easy, now not only are they turning the ball over, but they're having a hard time getting out of their own way. That's a pickup of 2 on the play. It's rolls like that. Your offensive tackle, a 7 or a 2. He's a 5, but there you got that white die 6, and so you only pick up 2 yards. So the dice have not been friendly to Szymanski. It's a combination of that and some crazy good double teaming so far from LePage. Don't take anything away from him. He has played excellently defensively and capitalized on turnovers. But Szymanski hasn't benefited from the rolls, that's for sure. High formation, that's Juszczyk in the backfield with Kamara, who has 7 carries for only 23 yards. There's another run, that's off tackle, and that's a pickup of 4. So it's now 3rd and 4. Kamara and Juszczyk, they now go to the pro set formation. Maybe giving him the possibility that Juszczyk could run a draw here. Dallas with a 5 nose tackle. They're going to go into the 3-4. So what Dennis had said a little bit earlier is true. They're not spreading them out here. There's a pass to Fuller, and the defense is double teaming Fuller, and that pass is going to be incomplete. So a deep shot attempt for Philadelphia goes all for naught, and they are going to choose to punt here rather than risking it deep in their own territory. So Dallas, once again, is going to take over in pretty decent field position. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's a pickup of 4. He already has 1 touchdown in this game. That's Dwayne Harris. He dialed it up on a 2. This time we see boxcars, and that only gets him a 4-yard pickup. But his big return a minute to go before the half was a crusher. Dallas was up 60-0 at the time and would have probably been happy to take that lead into the half, but instead, hey, we'll take an extra 7 points on a special teams play. Who wouldn't? Ball at the 38-yard line for the Cowboys. Rolling the shutout here with 6 minutes and change in the third quarter of Autumn Winds 2019-2020 Super Bowl, also known as the Ooper Bowl. Ooper Bowl 16. There's a pass over the middle. It's caught. 10-yard pickup. And a first down. That's to Demaryius Thomas. That's his second catch of the game for 24 yards. So just like that, Dallas has the ball at midfield at their own 49. There's a run for Washington. No gain on the play. Defense guesses right. Guesses run, excuse me. So that's right on the card. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 49-yard line. Running clock, 5:06. All Cowboys. And there is a pass over the middle and 15 yards. It was guessed right by the defense, but Demaryius Thomas is able to haul in his 2nd consecutive catch. The ball now rests at the Eagles' 38-yard line. Kind of what we'd mentioned a moment ago, a 30-team league, and so it's so difficult to build super teams in this league. We'll talk about that in just a moment. There's a pass caught by Watson over the middle. It's only a pickup of 4. It's 2nd down and 6. But you look at that front line. Yeah, you've got a 6 run at center, and you've got a right tackle 5, but there's the rest of them are 4s. And as far as pass blocking is concerned, that's hardly elite. 2 7s, a 5, and a 3 at a tackle, in fact. So just so difficult to build super strong teams in this league. But when you've got a quarterback that's a threat nearly every play, you've got a running back like Breida. When guessed wrong, he can be lethal. And in this case here, that's a 16-yard pickup, but it was even guessed right on that play. And yet he's able to get that short gain on 16. But Breida, more often than not, was guessed wrong. He had a per carry average of over 6 in the league this year. And when you talk about MVPs, got to start looking hard at maybe Breida here. 14 carries for 60 yards. Breeze is just having a so-so game. So we'll see what the press decides. If Breida breaks a big one, if he gets over 100 yards, it's very possible he could wind up winning this MVP. But probably more often than not, it'll go to the quarterback. There's a stop at the line. That was David Johnson. I believe that was his first carry. It was. It was Johnson's first carry. That's David Johnson, who was a Stratomatic darling just 2 years ago, but injuries have really limited his abilities these last couple of seasons. He was a hot commodity a few years ago. There's a big play for Breida as he's chugging away at that MVP award. That's 15 carries now for 76 yards for Breida. Let's see if he gets it to him and gives him a chance to score. So 2:06 to go here in the 3rd quarter. I'd say if we had to give an MVP away, it'd have to go to Marc LePage because of his double teaming and moving those players along just right. He's not going to score a touchdown here. That's Johnson, and that's Washington along with Breeze. Defense is run keying Dwayne Washington, but it's on the defensive card. 2 linebackers in the zone. He stopped for a 2-yard loss. 1:30. The clock keeps rolling here. 23-0 for Dallas, trying to tack on another score. It's already a 3-score game, but in reality, it's a 4-score game. He tacks on a touchdown here, and it's pretty much academic. There's an off-tackle run for Johnson, and he is stopped short of the goal. It's now 3rd down and 3. 54 seconds to go. Looks like before Philadelphia's going to touch the ball, we're going to flip into the 4th quarter here. So 3rd down, full house backfield. Breida has not checked into the game. That's Johnson and Washington in there along with Breeze. That's Valdez, Scanlon at wideout along with Ben Watson. Cowboys up 23-0, looking for more. And there's an inside run for Washington. Defense guesses run. And a nice stand for the Eagles as they will hold this to, well, it's a 4-score game for sure now at 26-0. But a nice effort there from Szymanski as we have now made our way to the fourth quarter. And that's a squib kick and a pickup of 17. So the Eagles have good field position. This is the first time they've been to around the 40-yard line in quite some time, actually. So they need a quick score here and a lot of help. Well, let's see if they can put together a good drive here. Maybe get something on the board, touchdown within like a few minutes, and give this thing a chance. There's an off-tackle run. And that's a good pickup there of 12 yards. That's the first big gain for Kamara in quite some time. And for the first time also in quite some time, the Eagles are now in Dallas territory with the ball at the 45-yard line. 9 carries so far for 39 yards for Alvin. Looking for Antonio Gates on this play, and he catches it. 6 yards, second down. Gates, the leading receiver this year for the Eagles. 84 catches for 728 yards. Juszczyk out of the backfield with 80 catches. Kamara with 78. Didn't go to his receivers too often. 52 catches for Will Fuller, but 18.6 yards per catch average. A robust 18.6 yards. There's a pitch to Kamara, but he only picks up 4 on the play. It's now second down and 6. Szymanski needs some luck on those runs. He needs to hit short gains pretty consistently moving forward. Or one of those high numbers there, that 49 or that short gain. 4s are nice in the first quarter, but they're not so good when you're down 26. But he's playing steady. Got to put one foot in front of the other and get this first touchdown. There's a deep shot for Kamara. Defense is double teaming elsewhere. There's nobody in the zone, but the pass falls incomplete. Kamara only with a catch on a 3 when guessed right. But that still is an option. He's guarded by a 4. That's a good call. You take a shot on first down. Maybe a pitch to Kamara. No, it's an off-tackle run to Kamara, and he's going to go for some big yards there. There's a nice gain of 18 yards, and it's first down at the 17 of Dallas. So the Saints knocking on the door for the second time, only the second time in this game. This is their first time in the red zone, in fact. The ball rests at the 17, 11:42 on a running clock. He stays in that I formation. 3-4 defense from Dallas. Excellent all day long, especially in double teams, has been ridiculously good. There's a pitch to Kamara. Great call from the defense. They guess run, put a linebacker up to support, in fact. So that was a legitimate stop. No gain for Kamara. More importantly, that clock keeps rolling. 11:06 to go here in the fourth quarter. Eagles trailing 26-0. Eagles averaged almost 30 points a game this year. A little bit over 29 a game. There's a curl pass to Fuller, but he's double teamed. And so it's now third down and 10. With the ball resting at the 17. Technically, he could kick a field goal here and they would still be down 3 scores. So Potentially it wouldn't matter. They wouldn't have to go for it on fourth if they don't get it here. It's going to take 4 scores no matter what. It's just going to be a lot harder if they don't get a touchdown here. I mean, it's near insurmountable odds, but I want to try to give him a chance. There's a catch to Torrey Smith. How about that? So that is Smith's second reception of the game. He had 2 all season in Autumn Wind. It's 1st and goal with the ball resting at the 7-yard line. 10-12 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Eagles are knocking on the door, trying to get their first score of this game. Dallas has been rolling a shutout on one of the top 2 or 3 offenses in the entire Autumn Wind 30-team league. So an outstanding achievement no matter what happens on this drive for Dallas. They've been fantastic today. Trying to roll a shutout, but it looks like it's going to go off the boards here in just a moment. So the pro set offense, so that gives Juszczyk the chance to run it. Potential draw here, maybe. Although I doubt he would run with Juszczyk here. It's an off-tackle run. It is to Kamara. Defense guesses pass. And Kamara, with 1 linebacker in the zone, is only going to pick up 1 yard on the play. Clock continues to move. We're under 10 minutes now here in the fourth quarter of this Autumn Wind 2019-2020 championship. First appearance for Dave Szymanski and his 13-3 Eagles are trailing 26-0 to the Dallas Cowboys, who are in their 4th Super Bowl championship in 16 seasons. They've won 1 and they've lost 2. They were the runner-up in last year's contest, losing to the Los Angeles Chargers, coached by Paul Mankiewicz. There's another pass to Fuller. He's double-teamed. You can catch some passes on his double-team card. He does not. He does not in this case. And so it's 3rd down. It's like he's got a 17% chance of catching the ball when he's double-teamed on a short pass. But Dallas has been relentlessly double-teaming Fuller pretty much throughout the game, either with linebacker support or in that case there with the free safety. 3rd and goal from the 6. Kirk Cousins looking to get off the schneid. 10 of 31, a nightmare contest for Kirk Cousins. 3 wide set. There's a pass to Kamara. He's not double-teamed on the play. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a run. My bad. It was a draw play to Kamara, and he picks up 7 on the play. Guessed wrong on his card. He trots up the middle, and the Eagles are on the board. And a 2 doesn't do you any good here, so he's going to go ahead and kick this one through. So pending this extra point, which goes through the pipes, is 26-7 with 9 minutes to go. The Eagles will not try an onside kick here and instead kick it deep. So 8:42 to play. 26-7. Philadelphia needs to play perfect football, needs some 3-and-outs, needs some quick scores, just basically need every break you could possibly imagine in this next 8:42. Off tackle run to Breida. It's guessed wrong, but the nose tackle is able to make the big play, stopping Breida for no gain. That's 16 carries, so 1 more and he will be fatigued. Averaging 4.8 per carry. More importantly, that clock continues to run. 8:06 running clock here. Marc LePage is on the doorstep of winning his second Autumn Wind Championship in 16 season. There's an inside run to Breida, and that is good for 14 yards. And that is a first down. With 7.5 to go, ball now rests at the 43-yard line. That's 17 carries for 90 yards for the real-life San Francisco 49er. Those real-life 49ers were runners-up this year in a Super Bowl as they lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And San Francisco, in real life, actually loves running that ball. They've got 3 rushers in San Francisco for real, so kind of a throwback team. There's a pickup of 3 for Breida with 93 yards now. He's got my vote for MVP of this game. I think most people would say Drew Brees, but I say Matt Breida is going to Disneyland or Disney World. His choice. There's a quick pass to Demaryius Thomas. The defense gets his run, but there were 2 men in the zone there. And so it's 3rd down and 7. So let's see if the Eagles can get him off the field and kind of make this game interesting down the stretch. 3rd and 7. David Johnson is checked into the game. It's a 3-wide set. Three-wide set for Dallas. Shotgun, Drew Brees. Brees is 16 of 25 for 176 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Here's a slant pass to Watson, and that is a pickup of 9 as the defense gets run on that play. I'm kind of surprised by that. Brees can't run. I wouldn't have thought they would have tried a draw play to David Johnson, but the defense guessed run. And so that is another first down. It's a run for Washington now. That's 9 carries for 33 yards for Dwayne Washington. As that clock continues to roll, 5:24, 5 minutes, 24 seconds away from Dallas's second championship. The last time they held the Uber Bowl trophy was 2013. Last season they played in the finals. And so it looks like they are headed to their second title in this league's 16-year history. Dave Szymanski, his first appearance in this championship. A well-played year for him. He made it to the conference finals last year, this year into the finals. So the logical step this next year would be a Super Bowl crown. But it's not going to be this year. 3rd and 6 with the ball resting at the Philadelphia 41-yard line. There's an off-tackle run for David Johnson. It's guessed wrong. Johnson is stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it's now 4th and 6 with 4:12 to go. The Eagles will get the ball back. And that's a horrible kick. that is a shanked kick, and on some kicks, some card that's actually is blocked. In this case, it's on the card a 17-yard kick, but in reality, it traveled 7 yards. So if you have a prop bet of a punt going less than 10 yards, please take your ticket up to the window. You, I'm sure, have won a great big prize. I'd say that would be a 1,000-to-1 prop bet that a kick goes less than 10 yards that isn't blocked. So the good news is the Eagles take over at their own 34 off of that shanked kick. The bad news, there's only 3 minutes and 54 seconds to score a whole lot of points, 19 of them, in fact. But technically, it is a 3-score game. So Dallas had a little bit of a personnel problem there. They'll call timeout. There's a pass that falls incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10. With 3:36 to go here in the game, Dallas up 26-7. New Orleans has played the majority of these snaps in the pro set. Even though they're down 19 points, they're going to stay in this offense to keep the defense, I guess, in that 3-4. There's a pitch to Kamara. He picks up 9 on the play. It's now 3rd down and 1. Kamara now with 15 for 77 yards, but at this point it's just window dressing. 3rd and 1 with 3 minutes to go. Ball rests at the 43-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. So once again, this long 6-month season is just 3 minutes away, 180 seconds away from its conclusion and a championship for the Dallas Cowboys. There is a pass, actually, no, that's a run for Kirk Cousins, who scrambles and picks up 16 on the play. And the Eagles will call timeout with the ball resting at the 41-yard line and 2:42 to go. And let's see what kind of formation they throw out there now. So now they do put an extra receiver out there. Cousins is not exactly one of the elite deep throwers in this set, especially when guessed right. And Fuller, far and away your best target. But you do have Kamara, who's guarded by a 4 in the backfield, so that's a possibility. And there is that shot to Kamara, but there's 2 men in the zone, and that pass falls incomplete. Cousins 2 through 9 interception on that 11. 2 through 9 split on an 11. 2nd and 10 with the ball to 41, 2:24 to go. And there's a pass to Shepard that falls incomplete. It's now 3rd and 10. So Kirk Cousins' misery continues, 10 for 34 for 69 yards and 3 interceptions. Somewhere, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are chuckling to themselves. But I think everyone's entitled to a bad game. You just wish like crazy it wouldn't be in a championship game. There's a deep shot to Torrey Smith. Defense guesses pass, and that pass falls incomplete. And so now it is 4th and 10 from the Dallas 41. Just a shame. Kirk Cousins, the number 1 passer in the league this year, the only passer, as we've said a few times, to have a 100 rating in this set, which is really impressive. It's without the dump-off rule, it's very difficult to rack up a lot of yards in this league. And so 36 touchdowns against 6 interceptions. He threw 3 of them in this game alone. Just the worst time to come up with a dud game. And this happens every once in a while. There's a slant pass to Antonio Gates, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. So with 1:52 to go, Dallas will take over on their own 41-yard line. Philadelphia does have 2 timeouts remaining. That's Johnson. And that'll be him. That'll be an inside run for Johnson. He is stopped a yard behind the line of scrimmage. And will the Eagles call timeout here? They're not. They're basically waving the white flag. So we are 2 plays away from crowning Marc LePage as champion of Autumn Wind. And a bitter pill for Philadelphia, who averaged 30 points a game this year, nearly 30 points a game, only scoring 7. But credit Marc LePage to some excellent double teams. He coached masterfully on the defensive side. And he certainly deserved this win. There's a 7-yard pickup. There's a run for Johnson, and this will do it. Pretty much a minute to go. Well, Philadelphia will call timeout here. So now it's 3rd and 4. So they're going to make him earn it. Play until the whistle blows. The Eagles playing all the way to the end here. So let's see if they keep running this one. And there is an inside run for Breida. He is stopped. He only picks up a yard. Philadelphia will call timeout here. That'll put 52 seconds on the clock. So that'll pretty much wrap it up for Breida. 19 carries, 94 yards. I have submitted my vote. I believe he is the MVP of this game. There were 3 interceptions. None of them were returned for significant yards, so you can't split them there. You could give it to the punt returner, Dwayne Harris, with his touchdown. Could give it to the kicker. He has how many field goals? 4 field goals today. Yeah, I guess you could wind up giving to their kicker. That's 14 points that he scored, but let's see. The only Super Bowl, I believe, was it O'Brien, basically, the kicker for the Colts, is the only kicker ever to win the MVP, I believe. Or actually, no, that's not true. They didn't give it to the kicker that year. That was the year that a defensive player for the opposing team actually won. I believe that was the only year. Where is Tom Cook? He can correct me on this. It was a Dallas Cowboy defensive player who won the MVP of, I believe, Super Bowl V, the terrible game between Dallas and Baltimore. There's a pass to Torrey Smith. And at this point, we're just throwing out useless statistics. Torrey Smith with 3 catches in this game. He had 2 all season. So he's had more catches in the Uber Bowl than he had for the entire regular season. Who is the only Super Bowl MVP from a losing team?
I found this on the web.
All right, that's your final score. So 26-7. We'll look at the box score here. And we'll let these two teams converse with each other, and I'll just throw a note in here. So we'll look at the box score here one more time. And as we'd mentioned, if we're going to hand off the MVP, Sanders did kick 4 for 4. It could end up being him, I guess. Special teams, I guess, did tell the tale. All of the points were scored via special teams, with the exception of one touchdown run. Excuse me, a pass to Valdez Scanlon. All the others were special teams. That's very interesting. Another story of this game, Philadelphia only 4 of 12 on third downs. But again, the big story basically is right here. You're looking at it. 3 interceptions from Kirk Cousins, a 6.7 passer rating, which is just so incredible considering he was 100 plus for the season here in Autumn Wind, but 11 for 38 for 81 yards. Absolutely no help from his receivers. The leading receiver was Torrey Smith with 2 catches in the regular season, had 3 for 32 yards here. But the real story was, and you do wish they would keep track of this, correct double teams. Marc LePage, a master. It's like he stole more signs than the Houston Astros this year. He just was a master tonight at double teams. Excellent performance all over, and I mean all over Fuller. All over Fuller. Not one catch for the real life Houston Texans star. Not one catch. Kept him right off the board. Kamara with 10 yards on 3 catches. Look at this. Look at these numbers. Just absolutely nothing to it at all. Just an incredible performance. It's not like Dallas has 6s in their secondary. You have to call correct double teams, and they were all over it today. Matt Breida with 19 carries for 94 yards. So it'd be basically between Drew Brees, 17 of 26 for 185 yards. Not a great game, but it's okay. It got the job done. 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Alvin Kamara didn't have a touchdown there, so 19 for 94. So probably Drew Brees is your MVP. It's going to be between Drew Brees, your kicker, or Matt Breida. Maybe you got co-MVPs for this year. 3 interceptions from 3 different players for Dallas, including Diggs and Justin Simmons and Robley Coleman. DeMarcus Lawrence, there he is with a sack. But he got that late in the game. There was only 1 sack for each club throughout the game. The other was Tracy Walker. So that's pretty much it. A lot of points, but nothing really offensively. Only 2 offensive touchdowns for each of these clubs. The rest of this was all with special teams. But it doesn't matter because Dallas was the special team today as they will hoist their 2nd Autumn Win trophy. The last time they did this was the 2013 season, so we're now in the 2019 and 2020 campaign. So congratulations to Marc LePage. 10-6 regular season, 4-0, swept the playoffs, wild card, divisional round, championship, and the Uber Bowl. Congratulations to Philadelphia, too, who will finish the season 15-4, 13-3 in the regular season, divisional playoff winner, conference championship winner, but they come up short here in the Uber Bowl 16, 26-7. So congratulations, Marc LePage. Congratulations to Dave Saminsky, Larry Davis. We greatly appreciate this league. We have a lot of fun, and a special appreciation to all those who make this league possible, especially our good friend, Half Man, Half Mankiewicz, Tom Cook, who broadcasts a lot of these games, Dennis Crowley, who's a great ambassador of this game as well. It's a very well-run league. Please check out their website. It's excellent. Take a look at some of the broadcasts that we've had. It's a lot of fun. Lots of leagues are available to play. This is how I learned, is by watching these broadcasts, basically, and that's how I got back into this game. It's a great hobby. There's a lot of people across the country who enjoy playing. I encourage you to go to Stratomatic's website, learn a little bit more about the game, and they've got a league directory there. There's plenty of leagues that are looking for great coaches. It's an enjoyable hobby. It's a lot of fun, and you'll get to meet a lot of friends across the country. And again, it's been a pleasure playing in my 4th Autumn Win season. Excited to bring this championship game to you. Very excited to congratulate Marc LePage, a great coach in this league, and he deserves this championship. So well done, Marc LePage. The 5th seed has taken the Uber Bowl championship, number 16. So this will wrap up our 16th campaign in Autumn Win. This is Michael Reeves. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. God bless everyone, and have a great off season. We will see you in September.